Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Smile with Sandbox. And today we're going to speak with Allan de Paiva of Aximus Engineering. Allan, thank you for joining us today and tell us a bit about yourself.
Thank you, Rod, for inviting me to do this. My name is Allan de Paiva. I'm president of Aximus Engineering. And our company was established back in December of 2014. And just as we started into a bit of a dip in oil prices, but the opportunities, my feeling was, were endless. And we have been growing the company through these tough times. We've managed to attract some great people, contractors and staff, designers, and it's been a journey. It's been a growth journey too, I'll tell you that.
That's great. So tell us, Allan, heading into kind of the tail end of 2019, what was business looking like for Aximus?
2019, it actually was sort of a flat year for us, but the opportunities that we were seeing through business development, through the cold calls and talking to people and our current clientele, was that budgets were going to be looking pretty good going into 2020, and that the year there was optimism, and that was really nice to see. There was optimism from our oil and gas energy clients saying that they were seeing oil prices were stable. There was talk about gas prices starting to climb, and so with that, we had this sense of optimism really going into 2020.
Great. And then you head into 2020. Tell us a little bit about when did you start to see things happening in your world, and what did that look like to you?
Yeah, it was, I'll be perfectly honest. I was sort of, it was like it was like being slammed on the side of the head by, this COVID thing coming in. I go back to when SARS hit Canada and especially Toronto. And, and in Calgary, the response was, let's put some sanitation stations, like hand sanitation stations in all the elevators and in the buildings. And then a year later, they're all empty. So, my approach was, okay, this is going to be like SARS. There'll be, more hand washing, a little more, stricter controls that way. And by mid-March, the mayor of our city is shutting down the city. And I was going, well, this doesn't make sense. They're telling us to go home. How do we go? We don't go home. We got stuff to do. So yeah, that was, for me, that was the first stage of disbelief in many ways. After that, everybody went home. And so this is where you and I were talking earlier, is that I sort of felt Aximus was 50% prepared for this work at home strategy. That was how Aximus was started, was based on a strategy that we would hire our contractors and people on an as-needed basis, and that we would give them access to the documents and the tools they needed from wherever they were working from. And so with that, Aximus started in the cloud with, back in 2014, we were actually testing OneDrive Cloud and sharing OneDrive Cloud to everyone that was working for the company. And since then, we've gone to Dropbox, which has worked better for us. And so when everybody went home, they still had access to all the documents they were working at, the tools, specifications. We even had designers that were working on their AutoCAD drawings from home, because we had been setting up, I don't know the exact name of the application, but like PC Anywhere, these applications where you leave your PC on at work and then you can use your PC from home. And and basically those applications, basically a couple of my designers came to me and said, I want to use this. I said, sure. And we made sure the securities were working, and so it all worked out fine that way. For us, it was the whole Teams thing, Zoom thing, that we had to get used to doing and start engaging our clients that way instead of going to their office to have a meeting to discuss the project. So that was probably the biggest challenge and sort of a new way of doing business that we had to get used to.
Interesting. So you guys were set up quite well to adapt to a pandemic type of crisis and what that did to, businesses and people. Tell us, when you look at your clients now and prospects, how is this playing out with them, and has it changed since kind of that March period? Tell us a bit about what that looks like.
I would say with our current clients, it has worked out very well. So depending on how our clients, what platforms they're using, we're adapting. So we're either using Zoom if they are on Zoom. Often we use Teams. We're a Microsoft platform-based company. And so that works well for us. And it works well for sharing documents, sharing screens. And so that's all coming together. And the proficiency of everyone doing it is working well. I would say the biggest challenge for Aximus, being a relationship-based business, is the business development and sales component of running an engineering company. Looking for those new leads and the people has proven to be extremely difficult. So they're not at their office. They're on Teams or they're on Zoom, and so that was the biggest challenge, I would say. And for me personally, I like meeting people in person, and I'll admit I struggled for the first few months just getting used to this idea of engaging people, new people I haven't even met, and starting with a phone call and maybe leading into a Teams meeting and maybe showing a few things of what we do and that sort of thing. So I would say that was the biggest challenge that we've had.
Interesting. When you look at prospecting, then Allan, are you finding that you're starting to get traction in that area? And is that typically what you're seeing? The path is, a phone call, and then maybe you're into a team Zoom meeting, and is that how it looks to you?
Yeah, that's so in some ways gone back to old school and doing the cold call, and then if you get somebody, if they're the wrong person, trying to lead in to find out who the next person is, and then from there, either try to get a Teams meeting set up. Definitely follow up on an email and with an invite. And so that's sort of how we've been doing it now, is doing it that way. The other thing we've done, and I'll admit, I don't see myself as a writer and posting a lot of social media type of things, but I've made a commitment to put a couple of posts together per month out of the Aximus LinkedIn site. So that was a stretch. And so I'm getting used to that now. And putting those posts out about what we're doing, ideas that we have, tools that we're using, and doing a bit of bragging. I'm not one to brag, but maybe do a bit of bragging about what we're best at.
That's great. Wonderful that you were looking at new ways to grow your business and using some of the social platforms that are out there. If you look at the crisis overall, what would you say it has been the biggest challenge for you, either personally, professionally?
Like I said before, business, it was the whole business development cycle sort of got turned on a dime for us. That was tough. And then, but even you have friends and family. I think there's this whole isolation. Now it can be tough on the head. So I just feel extremely lucky to have the people in my life and we've been supporting each other. And I've been taking that same sort of supporting each other with my staff and contractors. And so one thing we did, which I think was of normalcy, is that in our company before COVID, every Friday we had a 10 to 20 minute snack and chat. So it was a chance for all of us to get together around 9:30, talk about, okay, what's the weekend looking like? Often we just do a safety moment for 2 or 3 minutes just to sort of get things going. And someone might have a joke to tell, and then we're eating some donuts, or someone might have brought some brownies, and we sort of do that thing. So what we've done is we've taken that and went virtually. So people are showing up at their screen with their cup of coffee, that sort of thing. And we've even taken the snack and chat on the Friday and done it in the afternoon, where people will show up with their favorite beverage and do the same thing. So we feel that keeping a little bit of normalcy from where we were before through this, I think, has helped out quite a bit.
That's great. As a closer, Allan, what would you like the Aximus brand to be remembered for as we come out of this crisis?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it would just be that we were there to support our clients, our staff, our contractors, and that myself personally and the other leadership team would be there for anything, whether it was work related or personal related, and that our clients could contact us and get the same response time or even better response time than what we were providing pre-COVID.
Well done. Thanks, Allan. Really appreciate you contributing to Smile with Sandbox, and we'll let you get on with your busy day.
Thanks, Rod. This actually, it was a bit nerve-wracking, but it was a lot of fun to do. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
this is
Allan.
great.